We have our special guest today. She's actually a frequent caller in to the show, a friend from our hometown, considering now a 3-week pattern of bringing on people from our hometown who went to different schools than us. Please welcome Evie Nudera. So why don't you talk about your major and what you're doing down at the old University of Iowa.
Yeah, so actually, this is kind of a funny story. I was just about to switch my major. I went into Iowa as a nursing major, which I was the nursing school, right? Like in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was reading a book called The Hot Zone, and it's about Ebola. And then I realized I wanted to study infectious diseases. So I was going to switch my major to epidemiology, which is the study of infectious diseases. And then we were all sent home. So that's kind of fitting. But basically, I personally, what I want to do with my major, I want to work in Africa doing field work to research Ebola, or in London, like with the NHS or any health organization there.
Now, you say COVID-19 is novel, but from what I hear, it's the 19th version of COVID. That's why it's called COVID-19.
Oh, for God's sakes, Rush
right?
Limbaugh. Oh, my God. Whew. Oh, man. That one hurt my brain when I heard that.
The 19th version.
Yeah, the 19th version of COVID-19. So for people that are listening that were not aware of where COVID-19 got its name, COVID-19 is named COVID-19 because it appeared in the year 2019. That is why it has 19 at the end of its name.
I really hope people.
There have not been 18 other versions of the coronavirus that just blew by and we never noticed.
But I like to listen to a bunch of new movie scores. That's my way to pass time. And in fact, I was making my dad's cake today, and my brothers were making fun of me because they were like, "Do you ever do anything else?" No. That's pretty much what I do. I like watching movies, and then if the score kind of pops out, then I put that in my score playlist, which I sent to you, Dave.
It's a great
playlist. I hope you like it. I would listen to music without words, and then I started with Star Wars, which everybody knows, and then it just got better and better and more in-depth and more interesting. So I really like that, and I might actually minor in it. So
that's awesome.
A minor in like music, or specifically in like score related music?
It would be cinematic musical composition.
You mentioned The Imitation Game, and I'm actually curious on your thoughts about that movie, because not only have I seen the movie, and I'm a huge fan of Alan Turing as a computer engineering major, I listened to the entire book on audiobook. It's based off of his biography, so it's not like a memoir. Like, it is a biography. It's a pretty heavy book. It's very long. It's got a lot of details. So they took a biography that is just like, this is this person's life, and they took the parts that were adventurous. They took the parts that had like a story to it. And my opinion on movies is not very highly touted, so I'm interested as to what your opinion on that movie is.
Yeah, so that was kind of the movie that got me into kind of like the more historical ones. Most of the people that know me know my top 5 movies are all set in wartime. Like, I love like kind of like period pieces, I guess. I thought that they did a really good job not like focusing on the war and focusing on his life and his kind of character arc, which was like it's so interesting, because you like, I'm on my computer right now, and you guys probably are too. Like, you wonder how this $2,500 machine like kind of came to be, and that's how it came to be. And like, you would never think it possible, which it just kind of blows my mind. But like, this brilliant man who nobody thought anything of is like, I don't really know how to put it into words. I loved the movie. My senior quote actually on the wall, that's written in Arabic, is a quote from that movie.
It's actually true that Alan Turing's theory of computation, of universal computation, and his theory of logical completeness are so fundamental to everything involved in computers these days that as a computer engineering major, my second lecture on campus was about Alan Turing and his theories. Like, my first Thursday on campus, they're like, we need to teach you about Alan Turing and his theories so that you can understand the rest of everything else we're going to teach you in this major. That was how important his work was.
Yeah. I mean, and it's interesting to see, especially like, because from your standpoint, I'm sure when you watch the movie, you think about this from like a computer engineering standpoint. I know nothing about computers. I can work mine. Actually, I can't. I just spilled cantaloupe juice on it and the space bar doesn't work, but more on that later. I started crying. Anyway, I just thought like his story was so interesting because, you know, he was like, I hate saying this, but like convicted of homosexuality, and like how not necessarily interesting like work that he did. He's just an interesting person in general, and nobody thought that it would work. Everybody was like, no. I mean, that's like a cliche story.
No.
It was a cliche, but it's true that it was that way, that they were trying to go about solving the problem in one way, and his version of solving the problem involved them to trust a lot in his ideas when he was not a very adept person at communicating those ideas. And he wasn't really interested in communicating them. He wanted everyone to just believe him and allow him to build his machine. But I think what makes the movie interesting is part of his character arc comes from, the character arc is not he builds the machine and now everyone has to believe him. It is the machine is still not working, but he is redeemed by the people around him who have, through his grown ability to communicate and through his connection to them, have actually bought into his machine and gone from not believing him and not caring about him to actually caring about him as a person and his thoughts. And I think that it was very interesting that they put the arc not around he's the solo hero, he's going to save the day, he's going to make the machine that works. It was he still doesn't have the machine that works, and even though it doesn't work, he is going to be redeemed by the people around him because he has grown as a person. And I thought that was a beautiful part of the story.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's because it's not all about computers, but I mean, you've seen it, right, Dave?
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
It's so good, and I think part of the reason I love the score so much is because it makes, like, I have two scores that make me feel like homework mode, and that is Imitation Game and Theory of Everything. And it's partly because, actually, it's mostly because the simple, I don't know, or not the simple, the complexity of the melodies that like make you feel like I'm gonna do homework and I'm gonna like rock it. Like, I never have to do math again in my life, but every time I did math homework, I was like, I'm a genius just because of this music. And I think it's just crazy. I don't know.
I don't think you can listen to the soundtrack to The Theory of Everything without imagining yourself as Stephen Hawking looking up at the sky. It's just like, oh, the numbers, they're all connecting. I can see it.
That Johan Johansson did such a good job with that score. It's incredible.
Yes, I too think I am Stephen Hawking when I listen to that soundtrack.
You seem to care so much about the fact that Notre Dame has 3 school colors.
Hold up.
Yeah, because it's stupid. That's pointless.
Why does it matter?
Because
they don't get more colors than the rest of us.
Colors.
There's nothing stopping other schools from having multiple colors.
When they said
you
that
get 2 colors and a
was
neutral.
Burning down, I thought it was Notre Dame, and I was happy. Okay.
It was the university. Instead, it was the church, and that made me sad.
Dude, did you guys hear the conspiracy theories that they lit it on fire on purpose?
That's horrific.
Get those donations because they happen in the roof of the ceiling, and they're like, "Oh, it's because someone left something up. Power tools turned on," and they're like, "Listen, this building has been through 2 world wars, and it just lit on fire randomly one day."
Well, the people that bother me are the people who live here and are born here and were raised here and are like Packers fans.
David Hansen.
Yeah. That's a 100% slight to David. I don't like. Do you like wearing the ugliest colors under the sun? Do you like looking like an airhead every time you just open your mouth because you think you're the end all be all of life? Like, do you enjoy that, David? You know what? Let's turn the interview on you. This is
intervention.
Nudera and Brown.
Nudera and Brown. What's up with that, David?
Because David sucks.
No, you're right. Sorry. I can't remember. When was the last time the Bears won a Super Bowl? Was it
1985.
Was it 1985? And
That was the last time he actually won.
and when was the last time the Packers won the Super Bowl?
When was the last time the Bears drafted a quarterback in the first round when they had a
11?
Hall of Famer quarterback for 4 years left on his contract?
Yeah, when was the last time the Bears had a good quarterback? Maybe Nick Foles. But
Nick Foles, baby! Woo!
Hey, but you know what? We have everything that the Packers don't have, and they're the Restore
losing
Air
record?
billboards with Brian Urlacher on 290.
How many tight ends do the Packers have? What, like 3? Forget that. We have like 9 of them, all right? You stand no chance. All of your student loans are paid.
Right.
You exit college, no debt. That's
Great.
a given, right?
Oh, wow.
Here's the condition.
Lots of money.
You must live and work in the state of Indiana for the rest of your life.
I'll take that one step further. Arkansas doesn't exist.
How can you
You
work
must
somewhere that
always-
isn't real?
I'll give you options.
Dave.
I'll give you options. You have to pick one of these states: Indiana, Arkansas, Mississippi,
North Dakota.
Delaware, North Dakota. I could keep going. Just some terrible state. You have to pick one and stay there for the rest of your life.
For simplicity's sake, let's keep it to Indiana or Arkansas.
Yeah, Indiana, Arkansas. You get Arkansas and North Arkansas.
So here's my problem with Indiana is everything. It's like,
what am I going to root for the Colts?
It's like everything you hate about Illinois with like weird, wacky weather, bad
people from the region claiming they're from Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah, and then instead of having Chicago in your state, you get Indianapolis. So you can never, your permanent job always has to be in Indiana. You always have to go back to Indiana.
I think I could do that. If my
feel like
job
I
could take me
do
out.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
my
like if
job
I
could take me out,
couldn't leave Indiana, that would be a different story.
If I couldn't leave Indiana, there's no way.
You are just forced to have your permanent residence there, and your permanent job over long stretches of time has to be there. You always have to come back to Indiana. When people ask you where you're from, you have to say Indiana.
I think I need a crown for this. Okay. You get your loans paid off. For the rest of your life, sorry. For the rest of your life, you have to change Harvey Weinstein's colostomy bags.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Absolutely not. I don't even need to hear more.
Where's my
Nope.
crown?